Greetings, everyone. Glenn Kellaway from the basement. Prog rock. What a bunch of pretentious, bloated crap. Now there's a frickin' tag for it, a prog rock vinyl tag from Beer and Vinyl. Alex, come on. Driving me crazy. Jesus, this prog rock is so good. I frickin' love it. I'm a big fan. This is fun to do. I love talking about prog rock. I don't know how people aren't into it. Like, open your ears. What the hell's wrong with you? Anyway, let's get started. 20 questions or 20 things to show from my good friend Alex at Beer and Vinyl. Please make sure you're subscribed to him. He hit 250 subscribers today in a very short time because he is fantastic. And he came up with a fantastic list of questions. Well, we'll see. Show a favorite debut record. Okay, I'm going to show one no one's going to show, and that is Arthur Brown's Kingdom Come. That was the band. 1971, their first album, Arthur Brown's Galactic Zoo Dossier, one of my top 10 albums of all time. This is a fantastic album, proggy and rocky at the same time, and very weird as well. Takes a few lessons. Autographed by my good friend Arthur Brown, so that's pretty cool. And on a splattered kind of weird vinyl. Arthur's a very cool guy. We got to meet him on one of Larry's chats one day, and man, just a legend and one of my favorite artists. But Arthur Brown's Kingdom Come. They put out 3 albums. They're all exceptional. Okay, number 2. Show a prog band you got into in 2023. This was the hardest question for me to answer, and I came up with this, and I'm not sure I'm into it or not yet. I keep saying this to Larry Graves. Like, I presented it to him on a CD exchange, and he loved it, and I'm still on the fence. I need to listen to this more. The band is called Can Tago Mago. They're from frickin' Germany, I think, but I don't know. It's considered like a masterpiece. So that's what I tried to get into in 2023 is Can. Okay. Golden Jubilee. Show a prog album turning 50. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Relayer. Happy birthday to you. Great Yes album, Relayer. Oh, man. So good. So good. One of their best albums. Why can't I read upside down? Yeah, Sound Chaser and To Be Over on side 2. Side 1 is The Gates of Delirium. Fantastic album. Great cover. Great label. Gotta love Yes. I'm making a mess putting it away. What the hell's going on here? Help me. Okay, there we go. Okay, done. Next, show a fave live album. I have become such a huge fan of Steve Hackett, and for someone who is not a Genesis fan, I just love his live albums. They're all brilliant, all of them. Like I don't know if I'm missing any. I just recently bought the Foxtrot one. Oh. But this one is called Selling England by the Pound and Spectral Mornings, which was a Steve Hackett solo album. Just brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. 4-album set. Beautiful stuff. Steve Hackett, becoming one of my favorites. And he's got a new album coming out in February, which I'm very excited for. Show a non-UK prog band. I got to fly the flag. Rush. This is Exit Stage Left, a live album from Rush. But heavy rock / prog. Show a proto-prog album prior to 1969's In the Court of the Crimson King. I am going with Procol Harum and Shine On Brightly. Side 2 has one of the greatest prog songs of all time, even though I don't consider Procol Harum a prog band. But this song was definitely prog. It's called In Hell 'Twas an I, and the whole opus lasts almost 18 minutes. Fantastic, fantastic album. Okay, number 7. Show an album with an epic song. Well, epic album with an epic song. a band I didn't discover until 2 or 3 years ago, really, and delved into them now. Just frigging one of the great bands of all time for me. Caravan. This album is fantastic. And side two has a brilliant song called 9 Feet Underground, which is 22 minutes and 40 seconds of goodness. And what a great cover. Show an album with a proggy song from a non-proggy band. I'm going with heavy rock band Uriah Heep. And this album, Salisbury, and side two is the song Salisbury, which is about, I'm going to guess, 14, 15 minutes long. It's rocks, it's proggy, it's heavy, it's everything that you'd want to hear in a song. It's one of my favorite songs, actually, of all time. Salisbury by Uriah Heep. Oh, an underrated gem, a forgotten favorite album from an artist underappreciated. Well, I think this artist is underappreciated, and when you see the list of the greatest guitar players of all time, this guy should be close to the top and never is. Robert Fripp from King Crimson, and this fantastic solo album of his called Exposure. Fantastic record. Okay, album featuring your favorite prog vocalist. Love a lot of prog vocalists. I'd like to give a shout out to Greg Lake. I'd like to give a shout out to Jacko Jaksic, who might show up later in this video. Adrian Belew, John Anderson. There are so many amazing vocalists in this genre, and I'm going with John Wetton. And he is brilliant on this album, King Crimson album, Red. John Wetton, what a great, great singer. Oh, is it prog? Show an album you describe as art rock. I don't know what the art rock is. I do not know what the hell you're talking about, Alex. It doesn't even make sense to me, art rock. Isn't art a visual? I guess not. I mean, music is art, but I don't know. I couldn't do it. You know what I came up with? The stupidest answer in all these tags. Primus. Tales from the Punch Bowl. Let's move on. Change that question. Show a solo album from an artist from a prog band. Okay, I mentioned this artist just a couple of seconds ago. So King Crimson reformed in 2013, I think it was, and toured right up until COVID. 2021 might have been their last show. And I got to see them a couple of times on this tour. And the gentleman who took over as, well, second guitarist to Mr. Fripp, and he's a great guitar player, and also did all the vocals, was a guy by the name of Jacko Jaksic. This guy, I frickin' love him. He has quite a resume if you look up his name on Wikipedia. He's produced a ton of records. He's played on a ton of records. He is just a really, really talented guy, and I love his solo stuff. And he put an album out, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, called Secrets and Lies, Jacko Jaksic. Alex, when you watch this, check out this album. It's really good. There's Jacko there. I got to meet Jacko Jaksic when I bought my kind of pre-pass, celebration pass for King Crimson for 2019, and what a cool dude. Next. Jack of all trades, master of all, show a genre-bending album artists. The artist I want to show is Steven Wilson. Engineer, remixer, producer, songwriter, guitar player, singer, made some great albums, was involved in the reissues of a ton of great albums, is really heavy into all these 5.1, Atmos, all that stuff that I don't get. But anyways, latest album, although I'm not real crazy about it, is Harmony Codex. And but my favorite album of his is Hand Cannot Erase. But definitely he has put out albums that are just like kind of pop albums. He's put out heavy metal albums. He's put out like real proggy albums, concept albums. Definitely is a great example for that question. Number 14. The 80s called Show an Album from the 80s. Well, I'm going with Rush again. We're going with Moving Pictures. This was the anniversary box set with a live concert as well as the album. But Moving Pictures is 1981. Great record. Not Dead Yet. Show a late career album. I am going with Peter Gabriel's new album, man. The guy hasn't put an album out in 21 years. I know he's probably going to put out more, but his career was pretty much dead, except for I don't know what he was doing, but no Peter Gabriel solo albums, and so I'm considering this kind of a late album and a brilliant one at that. Peter Gabriel. Artist you miss. Oh, this man died of cancer maybe, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, maybe a little longer. I did get a chance to see him play later in Yes's career with the faux John Anderson, but Chris Squire, the great bass player, this was his solo album, Fish Out of Water, which is a great album, but Chris Squire was such a great musician, and he is missed. Prog Goes Pop. Show a progressive pop album. I got to show XTC. I mean, English Settlement. Top 10 album of all time for me. English Settlement. I'm going to do my top albums again this year to start 2024. I think I'm going to do it annually. What are my top 30 albums of all time? See if it changes, because it does seem to change with me. I'm not one of those guys who hits a stagnant list. But English Settlement, my favorite XTC album. Absolutely brilliant. Show a prog album with a cover you love. I am going back to Land of Grey and Pink. What a fantastic cover that is. Just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. An album you would recommend to a non-proggy person. I'm going back to Caravan again. They're a very accessible band as far as I'm concerned, because the vocals are pretty easy on the ears. It's very whimsical. It's not heavy, or it's even though sometimes they get the songs go on and on and on, but for the most part it's pretty concise and good stuff, and especially that good example of that is Waterloo Lily. I love this album. There's some great guitar riffs in this, great vocals, great songs. Waterloo Lily is an album that I would highly suggest anyone listen to. And last, fave prog album cover of all time. There's only one answer. One answer. That's it. That's it. This is the greatest album cover of all time. Look at that. Oh my God, that's like, oh, that is incredible. Thanks, Alex, for doing this. We really appreciate it. And we will see you guys later.